Hi, welcome. Today I want to get on here and just hopefully encourage you and just give you a few words on homeschooling high school. Hi, welcome. My name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom of 4 boys, ages 10 to 20, and been homeschooling. This is our 15th year. And I really just want to take a few minutes just to encourage you if you are entering the high school years or in the midst of the high school years, just to hopefully encourage you that it is possible. And I know the stress you feel right now, whether you're in the midst of it or entering it, especially because there is a lot of information to gather. And I'm not going to lie, 7th and 8th grade of my oldest, I spent researching, studying out things. I wanted to make sure I was in the right direction. And I am glad I did that. And I feel like even my husband was supportive. There was times I was listening to maybe a webinar or just, reading a book or something and just allowing me the time to do that. But I know sometimes, and even I'm sure I did that also, is that we can let our minds become so wrapped around making sure they are settled academically that we forget about their spiritual needs and just their personality and helping them grow as a young person, because they are teenagers and they will be going into adulthood and just taking on different responsibilities, not so much academics. And there are some families, every family is different. There are some families that academics is a priority, but they also spend time serving the Lord together. And there are some families that spend more time on things like, volunteer work, 4-H, things at church, than they are overly worried about the academic part. There is a fine balance, and that is what you need to find. Now, are you ever going to feel confident that you found it? No, it is a day-by-day thing that you just need to give to the Lord and ask Him for direction, because there will be decisions that come up daily, weekly, maybe it's monthly, maybe it's a yearly decision. Do we allow them to do it again this year? That type of thing. And me, especially for boys, I'm raising men. I want to teach them responsibility and how to work. And my husband is so wonderful at that part of it, more so than I am. You need to teach them independence, not only in their schoolwork, but as a young person, to teach them the responsibilities to take care of themselves. I have failed in lots of ways there and am working on that. But as I have a couple that are grown, I'm seeing that more. Now, they are the most hardworking, helpful boys I know, so don't get me wrong about that. And really where I failed is probably around the house a little bit. But they can build, create, fix the car, so on. So you really just want to make sure that you are teaching them responsibility as a young person. They are going to become an adult. And helping them see the need of others, I feel like is really, really important. And I think maybe we have lost that ideology of seeing how important that is. Because if we walk in a room and all we're thinking about is ourselves and not who we can help, it really, I feel like, lowers the spirit of just that individual and really doesn't give them purpose. I think when we're thinking about others and even the work of the Lord, we are going to have more purpose in our life. And the Lord does have a perfect plan and purpose for our life, but I think it's going to involve looking beyond ourselves. So I just feel like that is something very important parents need to remember. And it is hard because we want to help our kids strive and be the best they can. And we do. We still want that, but not at the cost of everyone else. So I hope all that made sense. But I also want to talk a little bit about the academics part, because requirements, graduation, transcripts, I know that is a huge burden and concern for others. And I think for transcripts, that probably is one of the biggest things, because it's easy to figure out your requirements and spread it out over the years. which I encourage you to do that. You want to not look at the academics as a whole. You want to spread it over 4 years, and maybe you need to find some forms to write out what you hope to accomplish, and it will change, and you need to be flexible. Write it out, maybe write it out on a couple different forms, really just to give you an overview. But when it comes to transcripts, you know that that's what colleges are going to be wanting to look at, almost more than the diploma itself. So in our state, we get to turn our grades into an umbrella in our state. We're required to sign up under an umbrella. So, and they do the transcript for us. But before I knew that or realized that, I did a lot of study, and I have mentioned her several times in my videos of Lee Benz over at the Homescholar, and I will link her below. And that is really the webinars and things that I watched. I think after going through everything that she did, I would have been okay about it. But realizing later that I didn't have to do it, it did help me though to really see the whole picture. So I'm very grateful for that. And also, you know, she gave you the suggestions of making sure, like I have a file system, and I'll link my video below about that I file every subject and grades. And I'm trying to think if she's the one that mentioned that or if I got that from somebody else. I cannot remember. But just keeping their course requirements, because you have to write, especially for colleges, and a course requirement that is mentioned and how you graded that, and the work from that school year, what they used. I just try to keep it all, because that was something she really talked about. If you wait till 12th grade to go back to 9th grade and write everything out that they had done, it's really going to be hard to remember. So I try to keep records, and right now it's not 100% necessary for the school my son is going to, but I still want it for myself, and if I'm ever questioned, that I have that information. And it may be you may be in a position where you don't have to overly worry about it, but what if something happens and you move? I would suggest definitely to keep some form of records through high school. You know, each subject, their course requirements, how you graded it, what curriculum you used, and then I actually keep all their work for that school year. At least, like, say it's a math, I would keep all the tests. I mean, I wouldn't keep all the work, but I'd keep the tests. And if it's an online program, see what you can print out. I hope that was helpful a little bit. And like I said, it can be stressful and overwhelming, but it is one day at a time. It's one step at a time. And I really want to encourage you. I want to say you're not going to mess up. It's going to be okay. Because I even had things come up at the last minute with my last son that graduated, and it did work out. Everything worked out, and it was fine. And lots of prayer, lots of praying, and that's a big necessity. And just helping your kids, not only academically, but spiritually, make sure that they see that that's important to you and that you want it to be a part of their life. So just wanted to give you some encouragement with high school. If you have any questions or comments, please link them below. I would love to hear from you. I appreciate you all watching, and I will talk to you all again soon.